Hey, this is Andy with Guitar Interactive magazine. Now, a couple of months ago, back in issue 34, I reviewed the Audient ASP880 Audio Interface, and I was very enthusiastic about the quality of the microphone preamps and converters that it's got built into it. Well, sometimes 2 is all you need, and sometimes you need a little bit more. And I've got here today an ASP880, which gives you 8 of those microphone preamp and converter sets in a 1-unit high rack mount box. So taking the quick front panel tour, we've got 2 channels which look like this one, which have the 48 volt phantom power supply, the 10 dB pad, polarity reverse, the high pass filter, which is sweepable between 25 and 250 Hertz, and the AD switch, which is referred to in the article, along with the input impedance, the high, medium and low setting there. Channels 1 and 2 have got the 1/4" socket for an instrument lead for the JFET DI, and the remaining 6 channels, like this one here, same in all details except that they don't have the DI on them. Just popping along to the very end of the unit there, we have the only other thing on the front panel, which is the sample rate selection with the option of 44.1, 48, 88.2 and 96 kilohertz, and that always works on 24-bit word length. So on the back panel, mains inlet, so no wall wart, but sadly also no power switch. Then we have the various digital connectivity options, the pair of D-subs for the audio output, so for the analog audio output, and for the return, which feeds into the converters as controlled by the blue AD button on the front panel. And then we've got a set of 8 of these lock-in combi sockets for the microphone and line inputs. So there you go, that's what it's got to offer. In use, it's incredibly simple to set up. It's incredibly simple to use. It was rock solid when I was using it. The preamps and converters work exactly the same way as they did back when I was enthusing about the ID22. Very, very good indeed. You can get cheaper units if all you need is some extra preamps or line inputs to give you, some extra scope if you're recording full bands, drum kits, things like this. And if all you need is something to get some mic levels up on kind of secondary instruments, then absolutely fine. But if you want that extra kind of little bit of flair that I think Audient has managed to pack into these, this is a very good unit to look at. It's got a couple of little things, there always are. I would always rather have a power switch. I really don't get why manufacturers do not put power switches on. I know you mount these things in racks, and I know you can power racks up and down, but not everybody wants to have everything in their rack turned on or off at the same time. So, a power switch is a big sort of miss for me personally. A little bit more detail on the LED metering would be nice, but you can see on the unit, it's packed in there fairly tight. And personally, I have to say, I would rather have separate line and microphone inputs so that you could simply stick it through onto a patch bay, or just put trailing leads on it if you've got the thing mounted in a rack box. It's always a bit fiddly, but it just happens to be a pet peeve of mine that I really dislike, having to reach around the back of things and replug things. I like to set them up and then have switches to detect. But that's very much a personal thing. What it does do is it gives you that lovely quality that they seem to have managed to get into the preamp converter set with the Audient kit. And purely because of that, for making recordings where you need a bunch more preamps than you just get with your interface, but you want them to be at good quality, then I would absolutely recommend give this a listen to. The street price is pretty good on these. They seem to have come down since the previous model, since the 800 was out, and the specs and the sound seem to have got better along the way as well, which, let's face it, isn't a bad trick in this day and age. So this is Andy Picker with the ASP880 from Audient, and this is Guitar Interactive magazine, and I will see you the next time out.